David wanted to determine how much the environment, say in a community, affected participation and what could be done in an environment in a community that would enhance the participation, that allow people in wheelchairs to get to a movie or get in a restaurant and into a restroom in a restaurant.
We do surveys of people, and one of the least frequented places in communities is exercise facilities. So why is that? Well, they're not welcome. The architecture keeps you from doing it. There's no equipment you can use. The people look at you like you're from another planet when you ask for help.
David had a great relationship with the Paraquat organization, was able to develop a health and fitness center, and the idea that wellness and health of people with disabilities can be enhanced through exercise.
A lot of people with disabilities that we worked with that said, my doctor says I need to exercise, but I have no idea how to. I can't roll into my average workout center. It's not accessible for me. I don't have enough help once I get to the equipment. I don't even know what I should be doing now that I have a disability. I just know I should be exercising. And so we started a program where we got accessible equipment and just basically taught them how to exercise. And what happened was, when we started doing that, our whole idea was we were going to teach people how to exercise and have them go out back into the community. We didn't have places that were accessible enough to send people, and people didn't want to leave. They liked exercising here. They liked the program. They liked the results, and so it grew. One of the things he developed was something called the Mobility Skills Course. But the idea is to have some ramps and some crooked sidewalks and some curbs and some potholes and some different things that we all encounter in the environment. But if you're using a mobility device, you might need different strategies or techniques, or maybe you need different wheelchair setup to be able to get over those things.
David was important in the Americans with Disabilities Act. One of the proponents was to provide full participation in the community for people with disabilities, and so that was his driving ideas.
How do we get people resources and give them strategies so they can participate in the rest of their life, whether it's work or with their family or leisure activities? What are those resources that we need to give them? And so a lot of things that came out of that were bringing resources to people with disabilities related to technology, better ways to train people on how to use their wheelchairs. They get very, very limited time in rehab on how to use their wheelchair. So how can we bridge the gap and give some community resources to that? How can we have a repair shop and services so that people can maintain their wheelchair and make sure that it's still fitted properly? A lot of it was to getting people proper technology so that they could use the technology to help them live independently.
It's great to see something picked up and taken beyond my limited knowledge and aspirations.
I think because David was in a wheelchair, my two young children were very curious about him. And he turned out to be what I consider a godfather, a godparent to them. When he was in his iBot, sometimes Nate, my youngest, would be sitting on his lap, and Joe, the older one, would be sitting on the back, and they'd be cruising and zooming around the neighborhood at speeds that I thought were maybe not quite appropriate, but they became very comfortable around him. And he was just a real person to them. They did not see a disability in him. He was just David Gray. He was Dr. Gray to them. That was really a good learning experience for them, is to be able to accept people who are just a little bit different from them in a childlike way and love them amazingly for their gifts and their talents and not see any disability whatsoever.
So we had a lot of student activities at Paraquat so that they could be surrounded by people with disabilities and the current programs and resources. So he really just had an impact on just helping move the disability movement and getting health professionals and other professionals to understand disability and how they could contribute.
He was a role model for our children. David was just a great teacher and mentor for all of life's lessons to be learned.
We would talk hockey or soccer or movies, or he liked history. We both have grandchildren about the same age, so there was always talk about family.
Just from watching him, learned a lot personally as a person with a disability, just how to live life fully.
I don't think a day goes by where I'm not thinking about him. He is the kind of person who is with you always. He is the kind of a person who inspires you for the rest of your life. And I know for a fact that I'm a better person for having known